All right, welcome to RapGenius Outside the Lines. I'm Sean, and I'm here with the legendary Kool Keith.
How you doing?
Hey. So I wanted to, obviously you've had a lot of stuff happen over the course of your career, and I wanted to begin at the beginning with Ego Trip. So on that song, on the Critical Beatdown record, right, on that song in particular, like I was just saying before, you have the song where you kind of take a little shot at Run DMC with the whole Peter Piper thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these days, the idea of saying anything bad about Run DMC is like unthinkable, right? No one would ever do that. Obviously, that wasn't the case in 1986. Can you explain a little bit about like the context behind that? Why you said that about their style, and whatever?
Well, we didn't really diss Run DMC. We was just trying to cross the boundaries of the basic vocabulary style at that point. We was like, they was always good lyrically with two people rhyming back and forth, but we was just we was breaking it our style. That's all, because it was like a time we just used that as a break-in to go into another point of word play.
Okay. Now, you've seen, like, over your career, you've seen quite an evolution in hip-hop and, like, different styles and things like that. Now, when Ultramagnetic first came out, and for the next, like, maybe 4 or 5 years after that, it felt to me like rappers could have a lot of different personalities and still be successful, right? Mm-hmm. You could be weird, or the lover man, or the clown, or the street tough, or whatever. Sometime in the 90s, that kind of started to narrow, and you kind of had to be, like, the street guy. Right? Did you ever feel any pressure yourself from people around you to sort of narrow your image, maybe get more street and less kind of esoteric?
Well, when Ultra came out, we was always street. I mean, we was street sci-fi. We did all the hardest clubs in the world, basically, urban, throughout Philadelphia, Washington, New York, Connecticut. I mean, it couldn't get no harder then, but we was sci-fi hard, but I look at it different. Me and Sed grew up in urban life, growing up in the projects, and him in the projects, me in the projects, Mo living in Brooklyn, so we had an urban experience of doing hard shows, and, there was time when we were doing shows, we had to bring, as a scientific group. I mean, I remember one time me and Mo we used to bring guns to shows, but we used to put them between the mixer and put them in the DJ case and stuff. But back then we used, we didn't really have to use anything like that, but it was that we did a lot of places that was kind of edgy.
I believe it.
So, but we wasn't coming from a soft background. Basically, we was a hard group. I mean, Sed came from one of the most wildest projects. I mean, the non-crew, and then my area was the same. So it's not like that. We were from urban lifestyle. We didn't have to prove anything.
Right.
Whereas a lot of groups that was hard on the street came from like nice areas, but they were rapping hard, like they lived that life.
Yeah.
But we were already in that life living, so we didn't have to prove nothing.
Right.
So that was the basic thing about it.
Nice. So you mentioned the whole like sci-fi science thing, right? Since the very beginning, you've had this like scientific terminology, science lingo, and stuff in your lyrics. What's your attraction to that?
I watch a lot of movies and Star Trek and stuff like that. I mean, I was always enlightened by Leonard Nimoy. It's just that I thought we had to take a different angle towards rap because everybody was doing the same stuff. So, but we were, other than sci-fi, we were still doing regular stuff too. I wasn't always sci-fi. I got different ways I can change sometimes. I mean, I did a lot of stuff: sex, sci-fi, horror. I had a variety.
Yeah. So the sex thing, actually, or that sex style record you did, right?
Mm-hmm.
That seemed to me the first time that you had like the raunchiness that came with like bounce or Miami bass or whatever mixed with New York City style rapping. Did you set out to create that kind of hybrid? Were you inspired by bounce or Miami bass or anything like that with the sex style stuff?
Well, Miami had their own sound of sex. They had more like a chant, like like Luke and them had more like pop that. You know, they would say words over, but, and then maybe you had, you know, you had other rappers, you know, you had Too Short and stuff, but he was more like Oakland and stuff, but I was like more New York, lyrical sex.
Yeah.
But me, I put a lot more into a lot of my records. You know, I coordinated the sound effects with the women and the movies. That's what I took to another level. Putting that whole element into it, that different, you know, that real sexual experience. Like whatever, I'll take a sample from a movie and use it. You know, like nobody did that before.
Yeah, and you took that really far. Like I've read interviews with you about the sex style era of your career, and you said you really took that persona to the fullest. You really lived it. You were hanging out with porn stars, doing that kind of stuff. What other kind of personas have you really lived out during your career as you've sort of taken them? Like, did you take the Black Elvis thing that far, or the Dr. Octagon thing that far, or anything
Well, I
like
didn't
that?
live that. Dr. Octagon, I wrote more like Stephen King. I wrote that more natural, like, you know, about writing a book or a horror movie. Black Elvis, I wrote, you know, I lived partial Black Elvis because I was like, you know, when I did Black Elvis, it wasn't about me doing the image fun. It was just me being the lifestyle, traveling, the parties, the shows, the after party, the girls. I think Sony didn't understand what I was trying to get across when I wanted to do it. I think they took it more in a comedic form. I was just doing Black Elvis to say I was like the Elvis Presley of rap.
How do you mean?
Just the fun, the lifestyle I had, like you know, just everything that Elvis did, not musically, but just his touring life, Las Vegas, the bus, traveling across country, going to stores, seeing, you know, I had a different type of fan base from everybody too. So I had like all the different kids, you know. I had like, it was just like my fan base was totally different from the average rapper. So my life was different. And I was on, you know, I was on big rock tours and stuff with big rock bands. And I think I was one of those rappers that broke that era.
Yeah.
Of different types of venues, and you know, like say the venues that were all over the world. I played first, you know, like a lot of places where a lot of rappers that were urban never played. I played those places before they even started going there. Now everybody's going there now. All of a sudden, you know, wherever it started, who was first, you know, maybe rock bands were playing there, but I think I was the first rapper playing at some of those places before, you know, I opened the doors.
Yeah, and speaking of firsts, you claimed, rightfully, I think, a lot of firsts in the rap game, right? You had, you know, first person to use science lingo, the first person to use the 3000 thing that, you know, later was adopted by someone else we're not going to talk about. The first guy to wear their baseball cap tilted, even before you even started rapping.
But I was going way back on.
Yeah.
Pretty cool beat then.
Yeah. You had one first. You talked about one first that I was a little confused about, that maybe you could explain for me. On Entertainer Complainer from the Tim Dog record, you claim to be the first man that created the brain.
Right. I just use that because I always used to rap about the brain. People say, yo, you rap about the brain. You rap about the brain in every song. So I think I just always used to have a fascination with the brain, but a lot of my lyrics lately calmed down from the brain. I rapped on a lot of records. Every record I used to say brain. And then it was just a fanatic word.
What was your fascination with the brain?
I just used to like to say it. Just in my lyrics. Just the brain. I'll take your brain. I'll throw your brain out the window. I'll eat your brain. I'll eat it. I'll take it out and play with it like a basketball. So I used to always have a big brain fascination writing about the brain. It was just a word I used to pick at.
Nice. I wanted to move back a second to your influences and rappers you like. And all the time you shout out Shan, right? Just in the end, on the outro there. he and Kane seem to be basically the only rappers I've ever heard you say anything good about on a record. And I know in interviews you talked about
Kane.
Yeah. And you've talked about in influences, Special K and T-La Rock were like influences on you growing up. Are there any other rappers you really like or who were big formative people for you?
In the early years?
In the early years, yeah.
I mean, I like the, everybody had a different style, but I mean, like I said, the Treacherous Street, you know, T-La Rock, his brother, Special K, I mean, they were like scientists too. I mean, they wrote in the same way, and you know, Shan always had a distinctive voice. Kane was always good, you know, lyrical, and you know, I like the rappers that had something different about them, basically, not more rappers that kind of sounded the same or something. I liked somebody that had something special about them, you know, whether it was the voice or a distinctive way of rhyming, or you know, I think with T and them, they came up with the words too, the technical words, and you know, they put a little bit of complexity into rap, because that's when the doors broke open to everybody using pronunciation, acquisition, modification, you know, those words,
big words, yeah,
came in. So, you know, it was good that I looked at people who did something different, not people who kind of followed.
Nice. Do you see anyone like that now? Anyone grab you as having something different, something special?
Well, a lot of people diss the new kids and stuff like that, but I don't diss them. I think we have like people. Well, I was always ahead of my time,
right?
Lyrically, so time is catching up to what I'm doing. So the kids now is rhyming on the cadence that I'm rhyming now also. So I'm not mad at the new kids because I was always ahead of my time. So it makes it more competitive for me. So, you know, I listen to the rappers now. I'm not mad. Whereas a lot of people from the past, they can't adjust
right
to the cadences of. It's like a basketball player. You know, Kobe's still out there shooting. He's still serving, but a lot of guys quit because they can't really adapt to the cadences of the new kids. I mean, I like, you got Jadakiss, I like the Lox, I like you know, you got a lot of new kids out. I mean, I'm not mad at Rick Ross. I mean, he brought lyrics to Miami, at least, you know. Miami had no definition of lyricism.
Right, the chance, like you said.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got a lot of people that brought a little more competitiveness into it, so it's good. I don't get mad because I think that my style is ahead of its time, and it's just right on time now.
Yeah, I want to
with what's going on with everybody now. So, and I still make the songs and the cadences that everybody make now, and the rhyme stanzas, and my timing is on. You know, I'm not jamming up on a record. You know, whereas back in the, you know, a lot of rappers can't get on those beats and sound more smoother because it's hard because the ticks.
Yeah, you say something like that in Extra Thoughts, right? You say, I spit on the main floor, they rap on beat two. What?
I spit on the main floor.
Yeah.
They rap on beat two.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
It's like I spit on the regular floor, they rap on beat two. I mean, they rap in the basement. Like when you press the elevator, they're on the down level. So I rap on the main floor, they rap on beat two. So it's like, you know, you get on the elevator, the first floor is the regular floor.
Yeah.
And then you can go down, you know, you go, some buildings got B1, B2. You know, you got lobby, B1, B2.
Oh, B2. I heard it as beat two.
B2.
Like something about their technique.
B2.
Okay, B2.
B2 means you on a second level.
Nice.
Continental league.
Yeah.
You know, I analyze rap so much into. Rap is like basketball to me because it's like you got CBA rappers, you got NBA rappers. Like what I consider myself is like if it was a league, you know, you got your main rappers that come on the radio, you know, so they're gonna play with the Knicks is a media team, the Lakers are a media team, The Celtics are a media team, you know, team where you get press and coverage.
Right.
I would say